something like a rat, something like a belch from a belly full of.
Now, Lynda.
Yes,
You are another enigma.
why?
Where did your inspiration to become a gospel rap artist come from in a time when there were not that many female rappers globally and none in Kenya in the gospel industry?
Where did my inspiration come? When I started doing hip hop, you guys not gonna know how old I am. I'm old. Let me just put it out there. Okay, so I'm old, right? So when I started doing hip hop, there was no hip hop. It wasn't acceptable in church setting. It was devil's music, it was commercial rock and all that. So what we used to have back then was the Sangai, Mary Atieno, Mary Ramboy, who I listened to even until today. It helped my faith grow, but there was nothing I could relate to as a young person. So one day my mom came across the stage. It's a cassette. Okay, that's how old I am. So she came across a cassette tape that had gospel hip hop from the States. And she sat down to her, it sounded like poetry with a beat. So when I used to be in school, primary school, she'd write down the lyrics of what she thought she had. And the son Mahanda is not exactly from Nairobi. So she'd fill in the blanks, and then in the evening I'd come home and she'd be like, oh, okay, you can sing along now. And from that, I just started doing it as a sport. I didn't really think it was hip hop. I didn't know what it was. And then I do it in school and girls were like, oh cool, that's amazing. And just started from that. I didn't think of it as, okay, so now I'm female. Female wasn't a factor. I'm going into the hip hop industry. I didn't even know what hip hop was. It was just something I did for fun. And then eventually it got called a name, a label put a name, hip hop. And then I understood it. Then I started to study because I had a passion in me for that since way back when. And that's how I got into the hip hop industry as a slave. But that's not even a
Who would have known that your mother was the
I
sole
know.
inspiration
I know.
for rapping?
I know. And then it happened, even after knowing all that it wasn't acceptable in churches, it was, I met people who did it underground, like it was a thing. But since I met other people who have the same mind, we formed a group, came rappers, and then the church got on later. So I'm happy to see people dancing to hip hop and all that. That wasn't,
The church has changed. We've evolved over time. I'm glad because otherwise we would not have sort of people who are practicing Christianity in the church.
And that's just people out.
Yes.
It's just because of our own prejudices.
So I'd like to tell you that you are an inspiration to many. Now I want to find out, as a child, what occupied your thoughts? What did you dream of becoming then?
Okay, so I did not really grow up in an urban setting, meaning shouting.
Yeah, we can tell.
Yes, but no sharpness checks in when you sing. Absolutely. I grew up in a town called Kitale. I went to primary school there. I came to Nairobi much later in primary school, but most of my childhood upbringing was in Kitale, in a small town in northern Kenya called Tot. Nobody knows it. No electricity, no water, shower in the river, all that. So when I was a kid, the dreams that we used to have were not, where I was growing up, were not as grand as go to be a lawyer. But my father was a lawyer, my mother was a teacher. And so my dreams were like, I want to be like my dad. That's like the most respected profession I knew. That and being a doctor, and I can't stand blood, so being a doctor was out of the question. So my dreams were, oh, when I grow up, I want to be like my dad. But then something always fascinated me. One was the way something as heavy as an aircraft could stay in the sky and not fall down. Because I know if I throw my shoe up, it's coming down, it's lighter than I did. And I was like, wow, I used to think about that all day, go around asking people until I was sick of it. And I think that's what drove me into aviation. I just wanted to find out how a heavy thing like that can stay suspended in the air. And where was it going? Who was driving it? Where were those people headed? And what were they like? You have to dress up to the grew up, I found out, oh, you can also do flying as a career. And it's accepted. And yeah, so my childhood dreams were to be oil, but what's ending to being a pilot after I found out now it's possible.
Piloting. What are you doing with that now? We know Elsie, the rapper. What are you doing with the piloting right now?
Okay, so I work for an organization, one of your local universities. The vice chancellor approached me when I finished my flying training. I did it in Kenya and Australia. When I came back, I converted my license and I was like, okay, straight to K2, Nyiri. But while I was still waiting to get in, the vice chancellor of the university I worked with came and he asked, I was so really hard, started flying school, and I'm like, no, I thought you should do it. And then he wanted to know what would set his apart. So he employed me to be a technician, first of all, to set up the school. To set up a flying school, but with a difference. The difference is that you get a degree on top of it. So music is great, you know, it's life, it's what you go through, it's everyday life. Flying is just another passion I have that it's hard for me to give it up. If I start to think, what else can I do? What else? Maybe I should do a business. It will always be something related to flying. So how do I balance the two? I have no idea, but somehow it seems to be working. With music, I don't know, I think God just plans it that way. I'm needed musically, I'm not needed aviation-wise, and I'm needed that I can shift things.
When you are doing your aviation, that serious aspect of you, what's the reception like for those people who know you as the rapper?
Oh, wow, okay, they do not know. They know I'm a rapper, but rarely tell me. Most of the people I work with are in management, older people, so they don't really know. They just find it weird. Why is your hair red? You know, stuff like that. Things that my artist side makes me like dye your hair, like wearing, you know, you're weird like that. But they classify it as pilot, so I hide under that, and it hasn't occurred that I've met someone who I work with who knows what I also do, that I'm also an artist. I'm also editing. People might make it seem like you can't do more than one thing at a time. You can actually be great at many things at the same time. I've seen even a mother is good at multitasking, right? You can do many things well. It just depends on how dedicated you are to each one of them. I don't think one thing should suffer for the sake of the other. I think there's a good balance in action. You will still be successful at anything, whatever you set your mind.
Do you ever feel like you need to work twice as hard to constantly prove yourself, being as confident as you are in a male-dominated industry?
As a chick, always, in any area, I guess, except in every area, you have to prove yourself. Your worth is always put on under the microscope. Any small mistake you do, first will be looked at as you're female before it's looked at as, okay, it could be something else, especially in aviation. But that does not mean you become less of a good pilot. You will be better for it. In fact, that makes you sharper, more excellent at what you do because you know eyes are on you, and the first thing they'll say is because you're female. But it's not as bad when you finally finish, like, you start working and, you know, a few flights, people shuku, are you sure you're going to take it over, you know? But you know, you just keep at it. Eventually guys change their minds, and then instead of you either balance from being looked down upon to being highly regarded. It's never in the middle, like, oh, okay, she just had it now, which is the future. So yeah, there's a talent there, being a chick, but it doesn't mean that you're, you know, can't.
So you agree with Dr. Alice that being a woman actually probably makes you better placed to handle those kinds of challenges?
Yeah, and then plus you're a woman, so you're emotional. In some, like for example, you're training, and then you make a mistake, and the instructor says to you, "Ah, that was a horrible landing." You know, you take it as you are horrible, and actually this is a mistake you made. Your emotional side checks in, but again, it checks in for either for the worst or for the best. You just have to choose. Your attitude is on you choose how you think. So yeah, it is tricky, but
What is advice to young girls thinking about going into aviation and music or both?
just before you do any of those things, know who you are. So that what you do does not define you. You already bring who you are to what you do. You become better for it.